Hey guys, so I did a project the other day with adhesive vinyl, so today I'm going to do one with the HTV. And I actually already have these made, but I'm going to flip them over and just do one on the back of the coaster so that you guys can see. So here's what I have. I made coasters for our living room with our last name on it. So I'm going to start from the very beginning and show you guys how I took this W, sliced it, how I got the word in there, the fonts I used, all of that, and then we'll cut it out and stick it on. And I actually use the little mini heat press and I use it for everything. It's awesome. I really like it. I've only made 2 t-shirts before, so that's why this is good for me. I've made a ton of masks, so that's why I got the small one. If you make a lot of t-shirts, a bigger one might be a little bit better. All right, so let me share my screen. Okay, so when you're in Design Space, the first font that I used for the W is Everyday Font, and this is one that is on Cricut already. I pay the $10 every month, so I'm able to just access it without any issues. Now I also measured this out, so as we can see, there we go, okay. Okay, so I actually measured this whole thing out, and I did that, come over here. I just have a little measuring tape. Let's see, it's about 3 inches by about 2.5. So looks like I just did 3 inches in height. But we can make them to whatever size as long as it is in those measurements. Okay, so here I'm going to change this. When we change size, I always unlock it. And the width we know is 3. And let's say 2.5. So here's our W. This is going to fit in our coaster. This doesn't look exactly like the ones I have, but that's okay. Okay, so now I want to slice it. I want to split my W. So in order to do that, in order to slice something in half like this, I'm going to add a square. I'm just going to make sure that it's wide enough to cover the W. Now you can change the size of it. It doesn't matter if it's huge, but I just want to be able to position it with my W. If you need to see it with it behind, you can move it backwards so you can kind of position it and kind of see where it's going to cut it. A lot of the times I'll select all and I'll align center, and now it's centered with it as best as it can be. So I have all of this on here, and now I want to bring this back forward, send it to front. I'm going to select everything and hit slice. So this is going to slice right where this shape is. And now we can see the W. We don't need any of those gray pieces. The W is cut now. So then I'm just going to position it however I want. I'm going to have to resize this W because it's going to be bigger than 3 now. Oops. Width is 3. Whoops. Change that to 2.5. Okay, so I'm resizing it again because with me slicing it and moving it, that obviously added space to it. So I have everything here. I'm done messing with the W, with splitting it. So I'm going to highlight everything. Oops, let me move that up a little bit more. Okay, now I'm going to select everything and attach them. So now they're together, and when I go to make it, it's going to stay together. So when I go to click make it, it'll stay together here. If we were to just group it, it would stay together here, but not on the mat. So I need to make sure I attach. So this part's done. So now I just need to put wild in the middle. And the font that I used for this is Mahogany. Okay, Mahogany Script. And this is another Cricut font, Cricut Access font. Okay, so here it's script. So I want to ungroup and attach all my letters together so that they flow nicely. So I'm just gonna ungroup and attach. I'm gonna select everything. Whoops, not everything, just the word. Select the word and weld. So now it's attached to everything, and now I can resize. So when I resize, I hit this unlock because I want to be able to move it and manipulate it however I want. So I'm gonna manipulate it to then fit inside here. Okay, I'm gonna select everything and center it horizontally. Then I'm gonna select everything and attach them. Or group them, that works. Okay. So everything is together now. Oh, now it's letting me attach. It wasn't letting me before. Okay. Wanted to attach them because if I just left them as grouped, which is what they are right now, my wild is not going to be inside. And I could position it like that, but I have it centered perfectly. So that's why, again, we want to make sure that it's attached so that it shows up like that. All right. So now we are ready to make this. Let's make sure that it's 3 by 2.5. So let's make sure that stays like that. I'm gonna lock that. Okay. So now I'm ready for it to actually be made. All right. So I'm gonna click make it, and I actually have the Cricut plugged in. So I'm not using Bluetooth with this. I'm actually using the wire. All right, so we grab a mat. So it's got it positioned on there. I'm not going to change the positioning because it's fine, that works. Okay. Let me switch over to this view. All right. So I've got my mat over here. Oops, I just fell. All right, so I got my mat. Now I don't have a ton of room right now. But this works. Okay, so here is my black HTV. We see this is the shiny side. We can tell this is not nearly as shiny, so I'm going to stick it shiny side down. And actually, oh no, I'll be good. Okay. So I'm just going to line it up. I always line it up with this corner first. This mat is super sticky. This is one of the off-brand mats that I have. It's one of the real life mats from Amazon. And as you can tell, it's super sticky. Love these mats. They don't cost a ridiculous amount. So here it is. I know this piece of vinyl is, I cut a whole bunch out of it, so it looks weird on here, but it is ready to be cut. So I'm going to put that in the machine. Then on here, we are going to go ahead and hit continue. All right, so now I just need to make sure that iron on is selected. So I changed my dial to iron on, and I'm going to hit go on the machine. Don't mind my cat. Okay, so here we go. So now it is cutting it out for us, shiny side down. Once this comes out before I start weeding is when I adjust my heat press and get that ready to be used. All right, so it's all finished. It is blinking. We're gonna press that, have it spit it out. And then I just pull this off of that here. So I just pull it off like this. Some people would pull the mat away instead. And then I always make sure that the plastic cover goes on right away because I have cats. If I don't, they will absolutely sit on it, lie on it, sleep on it, whatever you could possibly imagine the cat doing is what my cat will do. Okay. So now I have my piece here. This is where it cut out. You can kind of see it there. So I'm actually going to use scissors and cut out around all of this because I don't want all of that excess. All right, so that's my little piece, and that's how I get my awkward shaped vinyls, but it works, so I don't mind. Roll it up as best as I can. Fits in my drawers, and then masking tape to seal it. All right, so I just turned off the Cricut. That's why it made that noise. All right, so now I go through and I weed this. And I'm actually using weeding tools that I've never used before, so we'll see how they work. I got these from the Dollar Tree. So we'll see how they work. So these are from the Dollar Tree. So it was $1 and it came with 2 of them, which is awesome. So I just started at the corner. And you know what I didn't do? I did not mirror. So this is going to go on backwards. And that is the one thing that I forget all the time. So lesson learned. This is going to be backwards and we'll actually fix it. But this is absolutely not going to look right. It's because it's going to look like this one. Well, not that. It's backwards on there. It's going to look like that on the coaster. So now I'm just going through and weeding out in between. I'm not gonna do this one. I'm gonna fix it, but I'm gonna fix it before. I'm not gonna record it cutting out again. Okay, so I have it cut out the correct way now. So before I start weeding, like I said I was gonna do before, I'm going to turn on my mini press. I'm gonna set it to the second setting. It'll be orange like this until it's ready to go. You guys will hear it beep when it's ready. So to weed this one out, I always had trouble with the eye, the dot in the eye, staying with it. Let's see if I can catch it this time and get it to stay. Because our coasters right now do not have that on there. So you can see that it's still stuck on the vinyl. There we go. Got it to stay. But that's the only letter on here that I had trouble with, and it's just because it's so small. All right. And then I just need to get in between anything that did not come up. There we go. And last little bit. Okay, so that was the easy press. So now when we stick it on, it'll be the right way. I know it's not the right way on here, but it is the right way. It'll come out like that on there. So now, let me take this coaster. Okay, so I have this. And it's a little big, so I'm going to cut the corners just a little bit. Now I remember doing this on the other side as well. Cut them just a little bit so that they can fit without being off. Okay, so some people will use the heat resistant tape to keep it on here. I do sometimes, but I can kind of hold it on here. So this is ready to go. It's green, very hot, obviously don't touch it. But I'm just gonna take it, I'm gonna hold it on there for a few seconds all around. Now I have a smaller one, so I have to place it in certain spots. So I just kind of place it on there. I'll move it around as I go. And I bought these coasters at IKEA. It was a pack of 2 for $2. Got them for a great price. So I ended up getting 6 of them for $6 so that we had a bunch of durable coasters. Looks like it's having trouble sticking. But any material that can take heat, so I know cork can, any material that can take heat is what you can use HTV for. So let's see. Actually, let me leave that on. Okay, so as I peel back, it should be sticking in. There's some areas that are not sticking as well. So I'm just gonna hit it with the heat press again, which is why I was peeling back very slowly. You don't want to rip it back super fast because if it's not sticking, then you just pulled that whole design. Okay. So part of it I had some trouble sticking. I don't know if it's just because I'm doing this on the wrong side of the coaster or what. But the other side of the coaster does not give me any issues. But that's what they'll look like in the end. This is the bottom of the coaster. So this is actually what the coaster does look like. And the drink sits inside of these little walls. So, I mean, you could design this side too if you would rather it be like this. But it's a decent sized coaster. It fits every size cup that we have, and we have some pretty big cups. So like wide cups. So that's how you do HTV on cork. It works similarly for anything else. So I hope this was helpful for anybody who had any HTV questions. And one last thing, one little tip, HTV and iron-on are the same thing. They're just called 2 different things. So it makes it confusing, but if you see iron-on, it means the same thing.